the last day, he was just made a gesture of laughter, like he thought this was all a joke. And the judge actually made a statement to the media that he was completely vile and was not humored by his actions in court. So he gave him the longest sentence.
The judge sentences Stephen Lorenzo to 200 years in a state penitentiary.
And he did sit in that courtroom and just had no feeling at all. You know, just like a glass of water is a glass of water. So a body is just a glass of water to him.
There were over 500 photos of victims that had been tortured that were showed in the courtroom as evidence from this animal. He held pictures up as a trophy.
The evidence depicted in the photographs was so horrendous and cruel that authorities prevent them from being exposed to the public. Scott Schweikert is indicted on related charges of conspiring to drug, torture, and kill his victims, and is sentenced to 40 years in prison. But the murder trail did not end there. Additional men had disappeared under similar circumstances. The investigation moves to the city of Fort Lauderdale, where at the Drake Towers, an individual by the name of Mark Douglas Jackson had mysteriously disappeared. Jackson, who was known for being very reliable, left the keys of his new BMW cell phone and access cards to the building in his condo. Lorenzo owned an apartment directly across the street at the Hidden Harbor Apartments.
When I became aware that Lorenzo owned an apartment literally across the street from our building, given the complexity of the issues that he was charged and alleged with, it certainly seemed possible and raised the question, was Lorenzo in this area the night that Mark Jackson disappeared?
Jackson, who was featured in America's Most Wanted, still remains missing, and as time passes, friends and family are beginning to fear the worst.
The night that he disappeared, someone took his body and disposed of it, most likely in a remote area, somewhere, most likely in a canal or a wooded area, and what we need to know is who that person is.
Another reason why I was really looking forward to going through with murder charges, we could finally know exactly what took place, or a little bit more information on what the police have found out along the way, besides, you know, the information that we've given. There's been other victims and other evidence have been collected.
You know someone's character when you're their best friend, when you're their mother, when you're someone that's in their life as a constant. You know that person, and when someone just disappears without any clues, without contacting someone, you know something's wrong.
And although it's possible to go under the radar on occasion, the reality is people don't just disappear.
Bradley Lee Williams. His car was found parked near the Metropolis Bar, one of Lorenzo's favorite locales. Mark Shoemaker, last seen at the Pantheon Cafe in downtown Tampa, a place usually frequented by Lorenzo. Mark Allen Thompson reported missing. His Ford Ranger truck was found 10 blocks away from Lorenzo's home in Tampa. On occasions, when questions on a missing loved one remain unanswered, family and friends can take on an investigative role. When they present their findings to authorities, they in turn can proceed with a case which otherwise could have remained unsolved.
I really feel strongly that if it wasn't for us in this whole investigation, myself and his mother and his friend, that we would be still left with a cold case and not having any answers. We were determined to get answers ourselves.
I believe in the bottom of my heart that we would not be where we are today with any of the investigation if it wasn't for our own footwork.
There's no way of knowing how many people Lorenzo and Schweikert have made disappeared. The investigations are ongoing. As for now, they're behind bars where they belong and can no longer harm anyone.